What is up, everybody? Good morning. And yes, I do say good morning because it is morning over here on my neck of the woods or in my neck of the woods. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co host, Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much once more for joining us on this magnificently cool Sunday morning. It feels like Christmas morning sometimes when I wake up to do the show because we had some fights on last night, and it's almost like waking up, waiting to talk about it. For me, opening up my Christmas presents on Sunday morning after a Saturday night fight, that's what it feels like. Basically, can't wait to wake up and start opening up shit so we can, basically unbox all the thoughts that we got in our minds trying to talk about it, and of course, it is very very fresh in our minds, and we absolutely intend to do that for you this lovely Sunday morning as we count down to the end of the year. We got a few more shows left before the end of the year to kick off, or to, I guess, put away 2025 and kick off 2026. I got a nice little idea planned for our last show of 2025, so make sure to stay tuned for that, gentlemen, and ladies, of course, because we do have a small percentage of women that listen to our shows. So, ladies and gentlemen, I should say, stay tuned for that because I have a little bit of a nice little treat for you guys for the end of the year. But speaking of treat, we had some fights on. We're going to be talking about that. Of course, Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach, PBC pay-per-view, Amazon Prime last night, that we're going to be talking about. Of course, the fights itself, so the fights in the main card, and then, of course, the card overall. And we are going to be talking about Oscar and his I don't know, his hypocrisy, I guess we can say. Seeing a lot of funny stuff online about him going in on Terrence Crawford and this whole WBC sanctioning fee that Crawford didn't want to pay, and therefore stripped of his belt. We're going to be talking about a couple of words that maybe Oscar De La Hoya doesn't remember he said recently, and it wasn't that long ago. But that's how Oscar is. We're going to talking about Ryan Garcia and his training camp and see how that's going already. Again, maybe he's not fully in camp, but could this be a bit of a teaser of what we can expect to see during training camp for him? Maybe we're going to be talking about that. And we have heard that David Benavidez intends to move up to cruiserweight to take on Zurdo Ramirez. Well, there was another cruiserweight in action. The Lineal Ring Magazine champ Opetaia was in action yesterday, and holy hell, did he deliver? We're going to be talking about that as well, of course. But before we get into all of that, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How was your Sunday going?
Hey, what's up, Miguel? Doing good. Got to watch all the fights last night. Um, so yeah, man, got an early Christmas gift, if you would say.
Mm.
Had a long time friend from high school came and brought me a birthday gift, Christmas gift,
Mm.
and it allowed me to watch all of the fights last night. It was awesome. And
What
for
an
probably
intriguing gift that is.
Yeah, man. He was like, I got you for the rest of the time, dude. He loves the show, and he says he's gonna take the bill. So he started last night, and it paid off. It worked.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that was exactly the question that I was going to ask you at some point during the show. I wanted, because I myself had a couple of issues. Yes, yesterday there was also a UFC pay-per-view, and I'm like, well, I'm certainly not going to pay for both of them. Figure out how the fuck to get both of them on my laptop, one on my TV, yada yada. So I had a bit of an issue with that. But regardless, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. How did that go? How did that Christmas gift help you out so well? But I'm happy to hear that it worked out for you, and we can
Thing of
always
beauty.
thing of beauty.
Absolute thing of beauty.
A virtual high five to your buddy
Yeah.
who came in right in the nick of time, right before 2026. But damn, that's cool. That's I was looking forward to asking you about that. Oh
Yes,
man,
definitely. Houston, we have a problem, is what I would say.
right?
You can't. This thing can't get hot. Oh boy.
Yikes.
Yikes
Um,
is right. I'm
yeah,
dead serious. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Mhm.
yeah, game changer, but no doubt. It was a good fight, good night of fights. Um Shocking on
Mhm.
the boxing, a lot of surprises. didn't really get a great parlay card last night for our viewers, but yeah, we'll talk about it. And cold as hell. How is it in Vegas, bro? Is it cold?
It is cold. I mean, here's the thing. For us, cold is different for other people, of course, right? Even Southern California people is still. So it was chilly. I went out on Friday night and then Saturday morning. So Friday night was pretty chilly, but I was bundled up. If you guys remember, I actually traveled to Boston in early October, and I bought gloves and all this shit, a scarf, yada yada. Dude, it was hot as shit over there. Still, it was still warm. I didn't use any of that. Well, I finally got to use it on Friday night, so it was chilly. It was in the low 50s. Then later on at night, like 10 p.m. ish, it was like in the high 40s. So for us, that's pretty damn cold.
Yeah.
And it will get even colder, mind you, because we're I don't know what's the official first day of winter is, if we've already hit it or not, but we're getting there. We're getting there. It's getting colder, but yeah, it was pretty chilly. Like, and I'm not a party animal by any stretch, so I don't go out late at night anymore, at least not as much as I used to. So I kind of miss out on how cold it does get later in the evening. I will find out New Year's though, that's for damn sure, because I'm gonna be out and about for New Year's, and it's gonna be pretty chilly. So yeah, we're getting there. How cold are you guys getting?
High 30s. Yeah, very
shit,
cold.
yeah.
And not only that is as soon as the sun goes away, you can feel the air change. Definitely getting a colder so far. Fall. Are we in fall or are we winter now? We're in
I think we're still, hold on, let me see my calendar real quick. Winter solstice. I think we're officially in, oh shit, I just totally moved myself. I think we're officially in winter now. I have my calendar up here, but it doesn't say it. But we're in early December. Let me see, September, October, November. Yeah, I thought maybe because fall is like starts in like late September, because that's when summer ends. So I think so. I think we're officially, I mean, thank you, education system. Maybe we failed us once more. Whenever the hell summer actually, fall starts.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely a colder winter. Just not a lot of rain. Not a lot of rain, but yeah, 39 degrees and it starts pretty fast. It's like shit. I definitely don't like to be on the roofs in 39-degree weather.
No, I hear you.
You know what sucks about it? When you first get off the ladder, if you're gonna slip or not. Right? If it gets too cold up there, you'll start having ice and you can't see it. It's like black ice. You just go down. When I was young, my balance was great. Today, sometimes you just go like, uh-oh, here we go. Yes, sir.
That does happen. I did see a reel recently. It was a Spanish reel where this guy's walking with his girlfriend, and he's like, when I was kid, I used to, when I was younger, in his 20s, I would drink vodka and eat pizza and I'd be fine the next day. Right now, I drink coffee and I have to go fucking run to the bathroom. It's like, yeah, that'll do that. That'll happen as you get to that age.
The second step on a ladder sometimes will make my ankle feel like I just jumped off a 6-foot building. I have no idea why. Don't miss a step at 45.
Yeah, man, that second step was Lamont Roach with the. Is that what he was doing? It was like making sure you don't step on that fucking foot, because, boy, that was quite the card yesterday. Oh, real quick before I actually hop into it, although that was a fantastic segue, I'm gonna pat myself in the back. December 21st is when winter officially starts, so it's gonna get worse.
Oh wow! All right,
we're not there yet. So from December to March 20th is that, but March 20th is when spring gets crack-a-lackin', 2026. But yes, let's go ahead and get into it, because we have a lot of opinions, right, about last night's card. Pitbull, I was gonna say Pitbull Roach, Pitbull Cruz defending. I mean, if you guys have been living under a rock, you guys don't already know, yesterday's fight between Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach Jr. ended in a majority draw. And majority draw meaning majority wins. 2 judges had it a draw, while 1 judge had Pitbull Cruz winning. And I know this is kind of the theme is, damn it, Roach, that's the second draw. What the fuck's going on? He's got 2 draws. It's almost like Barrios. Barrios getting 2 draws in a row. Like, what are the odds of that? Funny, it just so happens that in Roach's fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, it was also a majority draw. 2 judges had it a draw, and 1 judge had Gervonta winning. It's kind of funny. I noticed. I figured I'd throw in that tidbit of knowledge there for you, but ended up being a draw. Andrew, you mentioned earlier a parlay. Didn't come through with the parlay. I put some money down on a couple of these fights. I put some money down on Pitbull Cruz because I thought Pitbull was going to pull it off. I did say at some point Roach was going to go down, right? And he did go down, although he wasn't able to finish him. But in this case, it's a draw. That means I get my money back. I did put money on another fight on the card that didn't go well, but that was just more like a roll of the dice. It's like, fuck it. If it happens, it happens. And we'll get to it. It was the Lara and Gonzalez fight. But I'm like, man, fuck it. Boom, let's do it. Maybe I could break even. Roach and Pitbull Cruz fight to a majority draw. It was entertaining at first, right? The second half started becoming a hug fest, both from Roach and Cruz. A couple of unusual tactics from Cruz, right? The showboating, or maybe like hot dogging, sticking out the tongue, trying to box. And again, it's not that he's not a competent boxer, but we know that his strong point is coming forward, very Cepeda-ish. Coming forward, throwing bombs, and it seemed to be working, right? He dropped Roach early on, and maybe thought, Jam, this is not working anymore. I can't seem to catch him the way it did, and decided to box, which didn't look good. We're not used to seeing him move back and retreat, and when that happens, you kind of get the impression that the fight isn't going his way, and then when he starts the sticking out the tongue and tactics like that, you think, oh wow, yeah, this dude, it is really frustrating for him. He's not getting what he was getting earlier in the fight. It seemed as though Roach made the proper adjustments, and damn it, still didn't turn out well for Roach. A few weeks ago, I had the fortune to be invited to a media workout for a lot of these fighters, Lara being one of them, and then Luis Nunez on the undercard as well, Shane Mosley. So I was able to interview some of these guys, and one of the questions that I asked them is, hey, this fight is going to be taking place in Texas. Texas kind of has a bit of a reputation of kind of these shitty decisions. So we might get one of those. Are you concerned at all to any degree? The majority of them said no, I'll fight anywhere, yada, yada. I don't think that would be an issue. Well, we had a couple of those, right? A couple of weird ones. So unfortunately, my pick was wrong. It was a draw. I don't know. I don't have the sheet here in front of me right now, so I don't know what the odds were on a draw. But we can get crack-a-lackin' with the main event here. Andrew, first off, before we get to the actual decision of the fight, what was your impression of the fight? How did you like it? What did you see? Tell us.
I liked the fight. It was a good fight. Man, I had so many things I wanted to start with as you went on, but now I don't know where I'm going at all. Look, Cruz did good. I definitely agree with you about him getting frustrated in the middle of that fight. That's why he starts backing up. That's why he starts sticking the tongue out. He's trying to bait Roach into a slugfest because the step back and the pivoting is not working. Roach is clearly taking over the fight at that moment when he starts the showboating. You can see it. It looked like it was going to be the beginning of the end for Cruz as far as getting so much success landing shots, as Roach clearly just decided to stand in front of him. When he decided not to stand in front of him, this was a totally different fight. Give credit to Cruz for changing his game plan and being able to bait Roach back into a slugfest, which gave him the avenue of getting those last 2 rounds. I'm very interested in the last 2 rounds of this fight on the scorecards because I believe in one of the late rounds, Roach is clearly winning. And then says, "Oh, you know what? Time to go toe to toe." You know what I kept saying last night? You don't hook with a hooker. if you don't have to. And he did. And that was his bad luck. Chavez versus Taylor 2. Right? That's what Jim Lampley says after Magic Taylor again decides to go toe-to-toe with Chavez. That's what we seen last night. Roach did not have to fight that fight. Roach technically is probably clearly better than Cruz, as was Magic Taylor over Chavez. Many would say he was technically better. Might not be right, but going into that fight, many would say all Magic has to do is move around, throw fast hands, and cruise to a 12-round decision. And in the 12th round, I believe they have him up on the scorecards, and Chavez cannot win unless he gets a knockout. So everybody's right up to that point. Roach has the same shit that happened to him last night. He clearly was the better technical fighter in that ring, and he allowed himself to get baited into a slug match with Cruz. And you don't do that, man. Cruz is all man. Cruz takes a hell of a punch, and he delivers a hell of a punch. The knockdown, it's cool, but it was meaningless when the point gets taken away from Cruz for his second foul. I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird how fast that referee deducted a point, but like you said, that's Texas. Interested in the rematch, but I think we already know the outcome. I expect Roach to come in and from round one do what he should. Like Miguel, I don't understand the game plan last night. I really don't. The standing, the trading, the not moving your head. It was pretty bad. It was one of those, it was really got to question Roach's boxing IQ when you can't. You did adjust, but then you allowed yourself to get baited right back into the fight that you were losing, the slugfest. You're not winning that fight. Doing good. Looked like he was going to break Cruz, either man, right? Because Cruz even drops him. But both are landing significant punches where any shot you would think was going to break the other guy. But this is what I said last night. If it works, he's legendary. He fought a Mexican, fought him at his style, and beat him. Wow, what a fighter! If he loses, what a dumbass game plan. The fuck's wrong with you? You don't fucking slug with
there's no middle ground. It's one or the other. It's like one extreme or the other.
Right? It's Pete Carroll. It's Pete Carroll on the 1 yard line of the fucking Super Bowl and calling a throw play, dude. Right?
Yeah.
You were clearly winning the middle rounds when you were just moving, dog. Jabbing. What happened to the fucking jab in that fight for Roach?
Yes. What happened to that jab? That was a good one, and really for either one, because they were both landing. Both fighters were landing the jab, and of course, we were rooting for Cruz and in the Barragan household. So we're like, what happened to the fucking jab? You were landing the jab, even as a shorter guy, because Roach seemed to be more than willing to stand in front of him. It's like you don't have to really search for him. You can connect the jab. It was just the right punch or the right hook or the right in general that it wasn't landing as often for Cruz. In regards to that point deduction, so Cruz's punches started to go low, right? They started to stray low, but the ones to the kidneys, was Roach not turning into them? Like, is he just not doing this? I mean, it's right there, Pitbull is just throwing wild, but I mean, not wild, but just like wide, I meant to say. And Roach just kind of stays there and it cracks him there. But it's like, what is he going to do? He's going to throw that hook anyway. It's almost as if Roach is like, all right, go ahead, hit me there so the referee can take the fucking point. I understand the low blows because Cruz, there's no really excuse for that. When he was going to the hips, even he was cracking him on the hips. But that point deduction seemed, I mean, without the point deduction, Cruz, I haven't gotten the scorecard, but without the point deduction, I'm assuming he wins on both of those scorecards. I pulled up the scorecard. So on two of the judges, Cruz wins the last two rounds,
Yeah.
and on one judge, it's 1-1. So Nathan Palmer, he's got the 11th round for Cruz, and then the 12th round. I'm sorry, the 11th round for Roach, and then the 12th round for Cruz, and then the other two judges have them both for Cruz.
And now, what about the 10th round? So let's do the championship rounds. What do those look like for this fight?
Let me see. So first judge has it for Roach. Two of the judges give it to Roach, and then the third judge gives it to Cruz on the 10th round.
On the 10th round. So it is the final 2 rounds. It's all Roach's fault, man. All he had to do is close the show. That's all he had to do. And instead, he went in there and said, "Nope, gonna beat you at your own game." And no, you're not. No, you're not. I wish we had the Jim Lampley cut. I would play it again right now because it was perfect for this night.
Yeah, that was. Do you think? I mean, you mentioned it a few moments ago that the ref was a little quick on the point deduction. He didn't deduct the point for the low blow. It was those like kidney shots there. You think that was a little too fast? Like, because I know he did it a few times, but I'm not sure if it was that hard of a warning at first.
Oh, he definitely gives him a hard warning. I talked about the warning that Cruz got early in the fight, and I didn't like the body language that the referee was showing. And then what does he do? And then there was another time. It wasn't the first warning. I noticed it, but it's the second time when Roach like complained about something. He complains about a head or a hit or something, and the referee doesn't see it. But then here's Roach immediately starts talking to Cruz. They're like, that's his boss. He's got a boss in there. You know, he didn't even see it. He's just warning them because Roach said something. And then the point comes immediately after those two warnings that weren't for the same thing. So yes, I believe he was extremely fast on the point deduction. Look, your conspiracy guys are gonna say it's almost like Al Heyman took a name out of Roach's script and put a name in there and went with the same game plan. He's like, Javante don't want the rematch. You're gonna fight Cruz. Cruz is going to give you a majority decision draw, and then we're going to do a rematch on that one. Same shit. We're not moving an inch. Just changing the name. Just weird, dude. 2 back-to-back draws that were very close. Look, I am not mad about the draw because I felt Roach lost the last 2 rounds. Really not.
When he didn't need to.
Yeah. No, he clearly had the blueprint in front of him. Shame on him. Shame on the trainer not being able to get it out of him, telling him, look, you're ruining the biggest opportunity of your career. You really want to fight this guy 2 more times? Because that's what L's going to do. L's going to make you fight him again. You're going to beat him in the rematch, and then we're going to have to fight him again. So this is what you want to do for the next year and a half.
The holding. Now, I have a problem. I have a huge problem with the constant clinching. Sometimes fighters are just they're tired. I get it. Sometimes they're hurt and they're trying to recover, shake off the cobwebs, trying to buy themselves some time. But when it's used as like a tactic, the guy gets in too close and then he grabs. There were a couple of times where I think Roach was holding on to Cruz, and Cruz basically had to do the shoulder thing. It's like, get the fuck off me, right? It's like if the referee isn't going to warn him about the constant holding, I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands and fucking headbutt this dude or crack him with the shoulder or something. I get that, because when I saw it, I'm like, okay, here we go. We're gonna go in this direction. And then towards the latter half, it was Cruz doing a lot of the fucking holding. Every time, maybe it seemed like maybe he was tired or something like that, and Roach would get close, and then it was Cruz doing the holding. I kind of, because in this case nobody got warned for it, I'm like, all right, whatever. But it made for the at least the second half of the fight to be a little bit more lackluster because of the constant holding. I wonder if seeing Pitbull Cruz kind of try to box and kind of backpedal a little bit, if that gave the judges the impression that, oh shit, he's losing this fight. I mean, obviously they don't have access to the CompuBox or anything like that to try to, get a more definite answer off of that. But that, because that's what it looked like to us, and we're just, fans, media guys. We're watching and we're like, okay, this isn't like Cruz. Cruz is trying to backpedal, even though maybe I haven't really looked at the scorecard to see which particular rounds he was doing that. But when I see that, I'm thinking, oh shit, that's not good. That's not good. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It's like, damn, that's not good, because
Well,
you can't try to box a boxer.
he is losing the fight at that time, and I believe that's why he started backing up, because he can't reach Roach. When Roach is using a half step, a pivot, simple boxing moves, you're gonna beat the guy who's coming face first and throwing. And you were correct in wild. It wasn't wide. A lot of his shots are wild. The guy's all pressure, bro. He's all prey. He takes a hell of a shot, delivers his shot, and that's his game plan. So the backing up to me was him allowing Roach to get the confidence as, oh, I got him. All right, let's go in for the kill. And now he can counter with something. But if at that moment when he was pursuing Roach is staying the distance. He's playing the distance game. And it was working. You hear the commentating. This fight looks like it's clearly going for Roach. It just all started turning into Roach, and then the tongue wiggling. And look, the fouling, I'm sorry, I don't like it. Most of the time, Miguel, the guy who delivers the second foul gets flagged. And he delivered numerous second fouls where, you do 3 shoulders. That's 3. You can't do 3 low blows, Miguel. You can't. And he did twice where he did numerous shoulders into the guy's mouth. He's very lucky a point doesn't come off on one of those. He does it right in front of the ref. Like the ref is literally like in the same side as the shoulder that he's delivering to underneath the chin. He's very lucky a point. I think in a fixed fight, a point gets taken from there and no one questions it. You can't deliver 3 fouls in a row. Maybe one, but can someone do that? No, right? You would get flagged. You would get deducted. So he's very lucky that twice in this fight, he got away with the shoulder connecting to his chin in what everybody's seen. And the second one did kind of turn my house. It was like, bro, yeah, you're getting mad, but that doesn't mean you start doing this. I never seen Chavez do that, and he fought all the boxers, right? Fought some of the best boxers of that generation. Don't let it get under your skin. So I didn't like it. The holding, I wasn't even mad about the holding the whole night. I don't know. In my opinion, you guys, I didn't understand why they were talking. I just thought this is an aggressive fight. You got one guy whose his only game plan is to get on the inside and hit. The other guy will have to hold. Now, they started saying it was Pitbull holding, right, at one moment. I didn't see that. So maybe I was just excited about the punches because they're chunking. And I didn't let the holding affect me. It's a 50-50 fight. Both guys are landing. It wasn't like one guy's dominating the other and holding every time the other guy gets close. I didn't see it like that. Maybe one guy, that's just how they were breaking up their exchanges. But their exchanges were often, and they had a lot of power behind it. You know what I mean? I thought this was an equal fight. The holding did not bother me. When these guys weren't holding, they were fighting and they were throwing some real punches in there. So I did not really mind whatever holding that was going on. I thought they fought enough to bear with the holding. The fouls, it wasn't like I threw a beer at the TV or anything like that. But you can't do it 3 times in a row. That one was bad. The 3 in a row. And the turning for the punch to the back, you get that in boxing sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Guys pick up their waistline. I remember Pernell Whitaker used to go really low, and then he would jump up. And sometimes when you throw a body shot, it would hit him low. Ref would jump in. He's like, wait a minute. He just fucking jumped off the mat, though. But they do this. The leaning over, you hit in the back of the head. Sometimes the referee, I guess it matters what side of the fighter they're on, though, right? Because if it's the cash cow that's delivering the punch, then all of a sudden they know the rules, right? And they're like, well, wait a minute, you're bending over first. You're bending over. So I guess it matters what side of the fence they're on. But sometimes you have a ref that will see those and say, hey, you can't do that. That's why you got hit that way. And then there's some that will go, oh, my God, you just hit him in the back. And we'll play right into the fighter that's baiting the guy into a cheap shot, or what looks to be a cheap shot when really it's him that's creating that punch. So yeah, rematch definitely.
Wait, hold on. Before we get to that, I was going to ask you that.
Sorry.
So, and during did you catch any of the post-fight press conference? Any comments? I don't know if you caught any of that, but Roach was saying, "Hey, you know, I can't fight fucking Cruz and the judges," and then Cruz himself saying, "You know, well, when the referee's against me, I don't know if I do." Clearly, both these guys thought that the judges or the ref was on the other guy's side. The fight ends up being a draw. Who's right? Who's right? I mean, the judges, the referee were on Al Heyman's side. They're like, all right, let's make sure this fucking ends up finding a draw. Like, they both have the same opinion because they both got a draw, obviously, right? They didn't get the victory that they wanted. But who did it seem like the judges / ref was on whose side more?
I didn't like how the ref, like I said earlier, went after Cruz pretty early, and then that moment where it seemed like Roach had complained, and he acknowledged the complaint and gave him a warning over a complaint when it looked like he didn't even catch the foul. So I did think that the judges, no, I don't think they were favoriting anyone yesterday. He lost the last 2 rounds, bro. And I guess it is the 11th. I'm telling you, I thought he's winning, and then they start exchanging at the very end. It's like the last 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think you're right. It's the 11th.
Wiggles them, and I go up. Now, if that judge wanted to give Pitbull Cruz that 11th round, dumbass, you just gave it to him. You're staggering back to your fucking corner. Are you kidding me right now? What are you doing? And now it sounds like Cruz got that 11th round. These are big rounds. The last 2 rounds are huge, right? Because you guys always got to think that these judges have this fucking fight close. Sometimes even the fights that don't seem close, in round 8, they're a round away, right? And there's still a chance. Put it that way. There's still a chance of a comeback, even when the fight should be a lot further apart than what it is. So Roach did not take that approach. He gave up the last 2 rounds. It's his fault. He got a draw. It is absolutely Lamont Roach's fault. He got a draw last night. He had the blueprint. It was working. He let a wiggle of a tongue. He let a guy making funny faces at him bait him back into that phone booth fight. Terrible, terrible fight plan.
We were kind of hoping, if Boxing Santa Claus would grant us a gift that the winner of this fight would go on to maybe fight the winner of Shakur and Teofimo, right? 140 pounders. Like, okay, that looks great. Even Roach himself said, I'll fight the winner of those guys. He's totally down to fight everybody. Now, of course, that's going to have to be on the back burner because we might have to have a rematch for these guys first. It seemed as though both of them were on board with that. During the press conference afterwards, Cruz himself said, I'm not Gervonta, I'll give you the rematch, but let's go ahead and do it. And they shook on it and everything, and it seemed like they were both in that mind state. And again, this is just like shortly after the fight, so maybe things change between now and then. But I'm down for a rematch. Go ahead, whatever you were going to say about the rematch, go ahead and go off.
Oh, nothing. I think I was just closing out with I'm down to see the rematch. Should it go back to San Antonio? Probably not.
Damn it. I just was about to ask you that. Like, can we do it somewhere else, not Texas, please?
Yeah. Yes. And I would, possibly take it to the East Coast this time for Roach. They could do something where they take it to the East Coast for Roach. If Roach wins the fight, then we land the next one in Vegas, right? And that would give the fans then the neutral site to go and root for the third fight. But I definitely see this fight going to a 3-fight deal, especially because what's going on in boxing again, where it looks like we might be falling into a little bit of a civil war again. I thought that mess had gotten cleared up, But now with Terrence Crawford doing what he did the other day, Fulton missing the weight like he did, skipping out on the WBC belt, I kind of thought that was not by accident. Now he put in a terrible performance, so it might have been that something went wrong in his training camp, because Fulton did not look like the same man. He didn't look like the same man when he got on the scale, but I did not like how he threw up the 2. Almost as if he was saying he was 2 pounds. And did you hear about the comment earlier in the week where he said he had 2 Thanksgiving dinners and 2 pieces of pie?
Oh gosh, no, I didn't hear about that. Let's talk about it, because that was pretty much what I wanted to wrap up with Roach and fucking Pitbull Cruz with. Definitely looking forward to the rematch, and hopefully they do it at least for where the hell is Roach from? Oh, is he from DC?
Washington, DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they got where's that armory place that PBC always put? Is that in Minnesota or something? That's a little bit more that direction, right? I'm not sure how, because they used to always hold.
But they have been to DC before, because I want to say Gervonta owns. Yeah, so they're somewhere in DC that they could put on a fight for him.
All right. I'm down for one of those. But in the meantime, it's a draw, and if you put money on the fight like I did, you can go pick up your money, because they'll give you extra money for the draw. But excuse me. And if you happen to see me every so often pull up this nice pink thermal here, I don't drink coffee, guys. I don't drink tea, but of course my throat has been acting up for the last couple of weeks, and my mom was like, "Well, here you go. Here, use mine," because I don't actually have one. I don't actually have like a mug. So if you see me, with this nice pink / lavender fucking thermal, trust me, it's not mine. But anyway, yes, Oshaki. I keep calling him Oshaki. I thought that's how I hear everyone else call him Oshaki. I'm just gonna call him Foster. That's a lot easier. Defeated Stephen Fulton, keeping his WBC super featherweight or 130-pound belt, and in the process winning the interim lightweight WBC belt, because Shakur Stevenson has moved up to 140. We're not sure if he's going to come back down, because he is, if I'm not mistaken, still considered the WBC champ at lightweight. How that goes at 140, we'll find out in early 2026. So in the meantime, to kind of, I don't know, maybe Mauricio Suleiman was like, well, let's go ahead and still leave our belt in there. Let's make this for the interim lightweight title. And Foster came away with a victory, pretty easy victory. For starters, we can start off with the weigh-in, right? Fulton comes in 2 pounds heavy, and I'm gonna get to the fight card later on as a whole, but things kind of fell apart. This was the last pay-per-view card of the year, the major one, I should say, and we'll get to that a little bit later on, because I want to wrap it up with the fight card as itself. But this is one of the factors that kind of made things a little meh. Fulton comes in 2 pounds heavy. I didn't see, was this like during the press conference, or was it the countdown, or where did you hear, or was it even social media, that Fulton was like, I had 2 Thanksgiving fucking dinners?
During the telecast. During the fight,
I see.
Guys commentating on the fight. I forget who it was, but they said it during that, and I was like, it just, and then the way he looked at the weigh-ins, his demeanor, he was not plugged in. I almost went on Facebook and took away the bet, bro. Swear to God. I swear, and I should have did it, but I put down everything. I did after the weigh-ins, I had no confidence. And yeah, dude. Top rank over PBC all day. I went against my own fucking advice, and look at how it turned out for me. Not only does he not show up, but he absolutely fucking just doesn't even look like he belongs in the ring with that top ranked fella. And then he did the same against Inoue, because Inoue fucking knocks him out. I went against my own advice.
You went against your better judgment. You're like, no, I'm telling you, sometimes I find myself drinking the PBC Kool-Aid too, dude. It happens. It happens to all of us, and it has that.
Do it for his mama. Oh my God.
Yeah. And now, mind you, this fight was taking place at 100. Well, it was supposed to be 130 pounds, right? Now, if I'm not mistaken, when Fulton fought Inoue, he was at 122. moved up to 126, had the rematch with Figueroa, and that was at featherweight. And then he fights this one at 130. I was like, what the fuck's going on? This moving up too fast? What the hell? I don't remember if he had another featherweight fight between then and now, but comes up to 130 and then doesn't make that fucking weight. That has to show something went wrong. Either it's discipline, or maybe he got sick during, training or something like that. That does happen. He takes a couple of days off, or it's something more serious. Sometimes things outside of the ring that are like in his head or something like that, right? And he's not focusing 100%. And you're right. Even at the weigh-in, it almost seemed like he knew he was going to be, heavy. Just his body language at the weigh-in, and prior to that, the talk, the trash talking, right? That was during the press conferences and everything. It looked like he was focused, but something happened, and we don't know what exactly it was. So to keep this, and when that was first announced that he came in 2 pounds heavy, I don't remember right offhand if this was like his first weigh-in or if they allowed him to weigh in a second time, or he just said, I'm not even going to try a second time. But in comes Mauricio Suleiman and WBC, and they're like, all right, cool. It's still a title fight. We'll make it for the interim lightweight title. Shakur's moving up to 140, and we're seeing where that's going. Now, I would like to hear what you were telling me in regards to he came in heavy on purpose. Now, obviously, after seeing his shitty performance, we're like, maybe that wasn't the case. But you were thinking initially that he was maybe doing this shit on purpose to not have to deal with the WBC at all?
Yes. When he first comes in 2 pounds heavy, and the way his demeanor was on that scale, throwing up the deuces, I don't know if that was a peace sign or if it was symbolizing the 2
I think
pounds
it's his nickname.
overweight.
He's like Too Cool Steph or something, or I forget. What's his
No,
name?
he's a Reaper.
No. That's Roach, yo. That's Roach.
Oh, that's Roach.
He's got some weird ass like nickname. But go ahead, continue with your.
All right. So yeah, that's what I thought. And I really thought it when Suleiman responded with all right, you see up to weight? Well, we'll just make this the next weight division. You're still in the rankings. To me, it was a desperate move for Suleiman to keep Fulton in the WBC rankings because, look, you guys, there's a civil war about to start happening here where Turkey's money is going to start trying to take these fighters away from these alphabet titles. Terrence Crawford being the first one. Terrence Crawford has set the stage for telling these alphabet titles go fuck themselves, right? Not even paying his bill. And I have another. I've got to double down on the segment we did last week about is it right or wrong. But Terrence set the stage. And I thought maybe someone had gotten into Fulton's ear and he said, man, forget this belt, get this win. And then Turkey wants to work with you over there. So Suleiman responds with, no, just 3. And look, then you guys got to think about if he turned down no, I don't want the interim title too. What does that do to the pay scale of the fight? Because we all know when you fight for a title, you make more money, right? So I wonder if there was something where the promoters kind of put the pressure on him, like, bro, if you don't fight for a fucking belt, we're redoing the fight, or we're dropping the fight. So I don't know if that's why Fulton then had a second, he had to take the interim title shot. But I didn't like it. I don't like Fulton misses weight, but I really didn't like that Suleiman. And you heard Dan Rayfield came out and was like, what the fuck? How does a guy miss weight and you reward him? Desperation. Needs to keep him in the rankings. We want to keep as many of these guys tied up into the alphabet titles as possible, man. Because once you start letting them out and they're oh yeah, I'm not ranked by anyone. I'm sure they're getting phone calls over there to come sign immediately to some kind of rehab. I do not think it's TKO. I still don't think that. And that bullshit that Dana White said yesterday about, oh, all of them are going to be coming, or I don't know. You can find the quote. Dana, he's got to shut the fuck up about a guy who made $50 million in one night. You don't do that. So shut the fuck up. Your fighters don't do that. Your fighters are taking payouts for 70 grand cash. They don't make 50 fucking million. So anyone who listens to Dana White talk about the situation that's going on in boxing right now, you're a fucking clown. You drink the Kool-Aid because that man don't take care of his fighters the way that who ran Canelo and Crawford. Who paid those two? Turkey. Was there any big business big promoters involved?
Netflix. It was on Netflix. Netflix had
Netflix, Turkey, but Golden Boy, DAZN, none of them are attached to that on.
Well, no, not really. I mean, everything. I'm trying to remember right offhand. If it was Netflix, it wouldn't be DAZN. It wasn't Matchroom or Eddie or any one of those. Not that I can think of right offhand, but it would have. It was just basically Riyadh.
Them two, yeah. So it was them two, but 50 million. Oscar De La Hoya has now confirmed that Terrence Crawford made $50 million on that night. It is a shame that you don't pay the belts that got you to a point where you're making $50 million in one night. Yes, some of it's you. We get it. It's your talent. It's your dedication. But without all this structure formed around you, without all this being a process that gets you to that level, you would never get there. There's many skilled fighters that don't have the backing that don't get there, right? Just went and passed them by. The life, sometimes life is about timing, right?
Sure.
So don't act like you're the only one that could have done that. It is kind of sad. At 50 million, you're saying you can't give, especially now, Miguel. I know there's reports that the money that the WBC gets doesn't go to the retirement fund, or not as much as they're saying. I don't know that part, but I think it's in the fighter's duty to at least give that money to the WBC and have your lawyers look in, have your team look in to make sure the money goes to the fund. How hard is that?
Yeah, that's a good question too, because someone asked Errol Spence, who was ringside, the same question. They were like, "Hey," they were asking about the fight, whatever, Roach and Cruz, and somebody asked him like, "What did you think about that? What do you think about Crawford saying no, fuck this, I'm not paying it. You can have your belt or whatever, take the damn belt." And he was kind of on to some degree. I mean, he kind of tried to give a non-answer and saying like it is what it is kind of thing, and it's like, bro, that's not exactly what we want, right? I guess he's trying to be maybe diplomatic and not give some fucking like really one side answer or the other, kind of like a politician, right? Not really giving you a legit answer, leaning one direction or the other. And there were parts where he was like, Connie, it is what it is. And then he goes, well, they should have listened to me. I don't remember him saying that, but maybe he did, according to him at least. He thinks at some point he was saying the same thing about the sanction fees. I don't remember right offhand, but in that little quick clip, he was saying like, he should have listened to me when I was trying to, not have to pay these shits. And then he says, but I would like to see where this money does go. Like, I would want to see if this money does actually go there. So it seems as though, and then at some point, I want to say on one of the comments of a Terrence Crawford video, Andre Durrell, Andre or Anthony Durrell, I forget which one, I think it was Andre, who said the same thing. He's like, yeah, I too want to know where the fuck this money goes, because it seems like they're just handing the money over, on trust, saying, yeah, maybe perhaps did Crawford see that and said, hold on, maybe his people did look into that. And
Come on, Miguel. Unfreeze, man. You're frozen on my side, Miguel. Well, I don't know if he's coming back. We might have to wait for Miguel to. Oh, there you
Oh,
are.
oh, okay.
There
Sorry.
you go.
All right, my bad. I don't know. I have my modem, or not keep saying my modem, my router next to me, and I see the little indicator light that is still connected. So I don't know why the hell that happened. But I forgot where where did I lay off? What I was saying, Errol Spence. So
Yeah.
so yeah. So
About yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Crawford's people did look into it and said, hold on, the money isn't going where we think it's going. And I don't know, maybe perhaps, but I agree with what you're saying. I do think that there's some shit going on now that it may be a lot of fighters are starting to hop on the Terrence Crawford bandwagon and saying, yeah, if this is going to keep me, if me being ranked here or holding a belt here is going to keep me from making big fucking money over here with Turkey, maybe I don't want to deal with them. And you've mentioned this before, actually. The people that are going to potentially work with Riyadh season and PKO and Zuffa Boxing and their championship pay scale or whatever are going to be guys that are either coming up who haven't made those big millions yet, or the guys coming down. Could Stephen Fulton be one of those guys kind of coming down? Like, fuck, I'm not going to get these kind of major paydays over here, but at least if I'm over here with Riyadh and their pay scale, I can still get 750K or something like that. Like, would Stephen Fulton fall into that category of maybe on the decline?
Most definitely, especially because he comes from the PBC mindset, right? Of robbing banks and not taking on the hardest opposition for big paydays, right? So they might have looked at that like, man, we can eat over there. So who knows? We're gonna see here soon. I will say it is going to be hard for these guys to make a $50 million or and excuse me, a $50 million payday for a fighter without the multiple belts. The multiple belts is what creates the drama in these fights.
Mm.
We will see. Turkey has it totally mistaken by thinking the UFC is going to come over here and create that kind of model in boxing. It will not work. I'm absolutely telling you guys right now, the model will not work. It really has not worked for the UFC. As you see fighters complain about their payouts, as you see fighters complain about how they're taken care of after the sport, it is it's a revolving door when you have one champion. It is a revolving door. They have not created a Muhammad Ali in the UFC. They have not created a Julio Cesar Chavez in the UFC. They have not created a Floyd Mayweather in the UFC. They control the whole MMA world. Yet Dana White has not fucking developed one of these men. They have a lot of greats. Oh, you can say, oh, their guys are, oh, these guys are awesome. Oh my God, oh, awesome. But who the fuck is the Ali? Hands down. Who is he? Who's the 89 and fucking O? You never got it wrong. There was never an off night. Who's the 50 and O? We're 5 million paid on pay-per-view to watch lose. And you guys want to go with his format? You guys are like, he's the one that's going to take us to the promised land? Are you fucking kidding me?
Are we at a point like to not? I mean, we'll get to the other fights on the card here momentarily, but are we at a point where if some of these fighters don't want to be ranked by some of these sanctioning bodies to not get tied down and be free for potentially big money over here with Riyadh, and now we're hearing about the Saudis kind of like cutting back on that? Is this was this the plan the whole time? Like Dana and Turkey, all right, let's put big money down on some of these big names to lure them away from the sanctioning bodies, and now we're going to start cutting back on the money. Now it's like now we're going to implement the UFC model and not pay these motherfuckers jack shit. I mean, they could just switch right back, right? I mean, they could just go right back to the sanctioning bodies, I have to assume. But it's like, could that be what's going on? Because it's one thing or the other. Hang on, it's one thing or the other. It's either Riyadh pays them big bucks to not be involved with the sanctioning bodies, or cuts them down and follows the UFC model. It can't be both. It has to be one or the other.
Right. We talked about this. They're going to work themselves into a corner. How does it work? How do you go from making pennies to all of a sudden you're fighting Terrence Crawford and he's going to make 100 million and you're not? And then if you do beat Terrence, You're not making 100 million now? You're not making 50 million now? You're still going to make whatever the UFC model is? They've got to change. Believe me, this guy has changed his game plan so many times. That pay scale is going to change. It's going to change. This is why Oscar's tune has changed.
Oh, yes.
This is why my tune has changed. They change their fucking game plan all the time. Why can't we change our opinions on this business model? Right? Mm-hmm. They're going to have a hard time getting fighters. Once the fighters realize that shit is nothing more than the UFC where Dana White controls who gets a shot at your one fucking belt, your one belt, and you've got 3 titles on this side creating millionaires. Every title is a potential of creating a fucking millionaire, and you want to switch that up to only having one? People, the math ain't fucking mathing right now.
For the fighters, it's not mathing because the fighters, but for them, it's like, yeah, cool. We're down to not have to pay multiple people millions of bucks. Yeah,
that's who we're talking. It's the fighters that are going to make this change and ruin the sport. It's them. It's not the fans. 4 belts can make you millions of dollars. Sometimes you only need 1, and you get a shot at Canelo. Right? And made 5 million off of that 1 WBO title. You guys, you really want to eliminate that so you can fight for this fucking dude who has a fucking company that hates him. I'm not even going to get into this shit. I've already, it's a fucking, what is it, kicking a dead horse?
Beating a dead horse with it. Yeah.
Dude, Terrence Crawford, you fucking, this is why Top Rank never wanted to work with you. Go ahead, Miguel. Set it up. Set it up with what De La Hoya said, because I'm going to get right into it.
All right, fuck it. We'll get into it. So Oscar went on to, and I guess we can get to the fight a little later on. Excuse me. But Oscar went on social media, right, to do his right, clap back Thursday to go in on Terrence Crawford, saying like, you forgot where you came from. You forgot the guys that helped you. You know, it goes that direction. And he is basically, well, frankly, like talking shit, putting them down, saying like, what are you doing? This money goes to XYZ. You got to pay your dues. This is your turn now. Now, when you're at the top and you are the man making $50 million, which he himself said he made, Oscar, I'm saying is like, you made this amount of money. You know, you can't fork up. They even went as far as to lower the percentage to not take that much out of you, and just like, just give us, 0.6 from what was 3%, I think, originally. Saying, look, just give us $300K. You know, it's fine. You know, we ain't got to go into your fucking millions. You know, it's no big deal. And Crawford said no to that. So Oscar himself comes in and basically goes to town on Crawford, only to be kind of, I guess, called out on his own shit, because he himself has said like having to fork up cash for the sanctioning bodies. He wasn't down with it, and he was on a Shannon Sharp podcast or show saying the same shit. It's like, what? I gotta give my fucking money. And this was no more than maybe a couple of years ago, even sooner than that. It wasn't even that long ago. But he changed his tune. He's going from like talking mad shit about these sanctioning bodies as like, no, you didn't go in there and bust your ass for however fucking long, and now you want me to pay X amount of dollars for it. Which I don't know if there have been ever any reports of Oscar not paying them. I have even heard about Miguel Cotto not paying the sanctioning fee, stuff like that, right? So, and I think it had to do with him not wanting to fight Triple G at that point, yada yada. It was a different story. But Oscar clearly has changed his tune, right? I mean, he goes from not being on the sanctioning body side and then working with Turkey for a certain amount of time, and now is like, maybe he doesn't want to work with Turkey anymore. Now he's kind of clowning on Crawford. But yes, pretty hypocritical, no? Going from like switching now. Maybe he switches up his tune too, but it's like, which Oscar are we? Or which is the real Oscar? Which one are we talking about? Like, you switching up, you're flip flopping back and forth on your opinion on whether or not these sanctioning fees are right or wrong. But anyway, go ahead. What do you want to say about Oscar and him changing the fucking tune? Because he goes into it like a motherfucker too.
2 years ago, Turkey had barely gotten into the sport, but he was already there when Oscar made these remarks. And I think Oscar was hoping for a better boxing, right? We know that the current state of boxing is not ideal, but it works, right? But we're not described as, the sport isn't described as one of the big fours. It's described as the wild, wild west, as you like to say all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we know it could be better, right? And when Oscar first met Turkey, he thought that was the man that was going to make it better. We all did. Well, I won't say we, but I did. I really did. He had all the money in the world.
The majority of us did. The majority of us
was,
did.
Yeah, he's making the fights the fight fans wanted to see, yada, yada, yada. But then started finding out his word isn't really 100%, right?
Mm.
Take his word with a grain of salt, really, because it might change the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year. Doesn't really matter. Whatever Turkey and the prince want is what happens. Really, it's the prince. You ever seen that? Did I send you the story about Turkey, about being the best friend to the prince, childhood friends?
No, I don't think you've sent it to me, no.
Yeah, he's pretty close. He's really close. Very close to that guy. Not going anywhere. Kind of close.
But the Blue Boy Fernandez to Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah,
Blue
big
boy.
time. Big time. So but they are two just young guys that are tearing it up right now. I will say that. I don't know. Just seems like two young guys that they got all the power and they're buying shit. They're buying their childhood dreams. What they're doing.
Yeah, EA Sports, shit like that, right?
WWE stuff like that. Those things that they watched as kids. Now they have money and they're like, let's buy it.
Yeah,
we'll see how that works out. I don't know if it was I don't know if this Saudi thing is still legit or if it's just a young man who has a empty checkbook. But either way, Oscar was looking for the better of the sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, Miguel, I believe the sanctioning fees should be looked at as union dues. Right? Do you know what a union due is?
Well, I mean, I don't know where I've been because I've never worked with a union, but I assume what it is. But go ahead and explain to us what a union
portion of our money goes to them. We don't know why. Well, that's what everyone says, right? They always try to, all the guys that are not in the union try to act like it's a bad. Oh my God, I can't believe they take part of your money. Oh my God, I can't believe you give them an hour a day. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I love my fucking union. I really do. Miguel, you're frozen again. Snap out of it.
What the fizzle?
Well, at least I can hear you. No, that's fine. At least I can hear you. I love my union. I love giving them my dues. I have no problem with it signing, or I don't even know. They think it's direct deposit nowadays. But they take care of me. I got work every freaking day. I work in some of the biggest accounts in Northern California, right? All because of the union. The union's who gets us in those doors. Sometimes you say it's the company, but most of these companies, they have to hire union workers. So it really has nothing to do with your company. If your company wasn't union, they wouldn't be in the building. Get what I'm saying? So it's the union that still got us in. Well, that's how you got to look at these sanctioning bodies, dude. Do you think Terrence Crawford's making $50 million if he didn't have the fucking 3 undisputed weight classes behind him?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think those 12 fucking belts, those shiny fucking belts behind you, helped you generate the $50 million payday against Canelo and Canelo's 12 belts behind him? Has the UFC made a fucking $50 million payday, Terrence, with their one belt? With their one belt, has one man made $100 million in one night? You fucktards! You guys got to start opening your fucking eyes, man. The UFC was a bum-ass sport with legends, but they were paid like fucking bums. Guys that made nothing. They gave their life inside of a cage. That is not boxing. Boxing is not looking for that type of lifeline. You fucktards. So stop acting like we are. You $50 million fucking man. $50 million for 36 fucking minutes. And you want to say you don't want to give 300 grand
to the company that gave you that? Shame on you. Pay your fucking dues, man. And to you media members that keep pushing this fucking UFC TKO bullshit, you need to shut the fuck up or start fucking claiming where the fuck their $100 million fighters are. Start showing me the fucking receipts that these guys. You know what I heard the other day, Miguel? I'm watching the fight yesterday. This UFC guy goes, was it Cormier? It might have been the heavyweight dude.
Oh yeah, Daniel Cormier. Yeah,
Cormier. He goes, oh man, I remember one time I got paid. It wasn't $1 million, like a few $100,000, but the fight did so good. Dana wrote me a check for $1 million. The heavyweight champion of the world is happy that he got a fucking bonus check of $1 million. Is that what you're looking for us fighters to be in, Terrence? Should we be fucking happy that the company called us and go, hey, your numbers are really good. We're going to give you $1 million. Ooh. You made 50 million in one night, dog. Stop fucking acting like we're this fucking broke ass sport. I'm saying we, because I fuck that. I help generate money in these fights too. You guys just don't know it. They don't do what we do. You know Muhammad Ali, when I said tell them to give me their Muhammad, I don't mean who's the fucking GOAT, you dipshits. I mean what fucking man at 70, 80 years old sold his name for $48 million. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Give me the MMA fighter that said, you know what? I can't make another dime in my career. I'm going to sell the rights to my name for almost $50 fucking million. Google it, motherfuckers. Muhammad Ali did it. They can't create that. So stop acting like they can. Show me the fucking receipts. Fuck out of here.
And on that note, the WWE Royal Rumble will be in Saudi Arabia, guys. 2026, January 2026. They're gonna go to Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble.
I'm a little bit nervous, as you can tell. I feel like I have to get the point across this morning. I feel like we've hit a breaking point with the fucking actions of one Terrence Crawford, what he did. And what I'm a little bit nervous about what's going on with Suleiman in the Fulton situation. Because I'm telling you guys, I got more scared when that fight got elevated to another championship belt 5 pounds north. What? Like Dan Rayfield said, you rewarded him for being overweight by 2 pounds. Something ain't right. That's desperate.
It's a very good point. They're doing a pretty they're trying to cover something up, right? It's something is trying to like, all right, let's not let everybody else in this, and if we can see beyond that, we can see other things that are going on that might not be immediately obvious, at least not at first, until Andrew drops the mic drop, right? Drops the knowledge on y'all. But definitely hypocritical on Oscar's side from going from like what the fuck, these guys taking my money to like Crawford, let's just pay your fucking dues kind of thing.
Hey, Miguel, it might have been, you know what, the union is better. Maybe Oscar went non-union and said, hey, wait a minute, man, life was good. I got raises, I got medical, I got insurance, it's all covered. It's all covered under them. Maybe he's deciding, nah, that $300,000 for a $50 million payday doesn't look that bad, Terrence. It really, I'm telling you guys, one belt can make you a millionaire in boxing. Please don't act like one TKO belt is better than that. You guys are absolutely foolish.
Yes, 100% on that. Now, I wanted to just jump into that because that was the direction we were going. But just to quickly, I guess, finish off the rest of the PBC card. This is one of the other fights that I kind of put money on. It was more just a roll of the dice. It was Lara and Gonzalez, Joan Gonzalez versus Arislandi Lara. That kind of, it was try to save this fight basically because you guys know earlier last week Johnny Beck tested positive for a banned substance. I believe there's going to be a retest. I don't know how quickly that can go down, but essentially we're hoping, at least I am, that we can get Lara and Johnny Beck still made at some point in 2026. But after seeing how Lara looked last night. Mind you, he won. He won. It. If you look at the scorecards, it looked like Lara won easy. If you look at his face, it didn't look like that was that easy. He was getting hit. We've talked about it before. Lara doesn't have the legs under him anymore, right? He can't move as much as he used to at the age of 42, and he kind of has no choice but to stand and bang with some of these opponents. And in previous opponents, he's been able to do so and even finish the guys because he has a bit of a knockout streak going into this fight here. But he was a heavy underdog going in there against Johnny Beck, and maybe his career got salvaged a little bit with Johnny Beck testing positive for a banned substance, and maybe he extended his career a little bit longer and got himself maybe can secure himself another big payday if we can make the Johnny Beck fight later on. But going into this fight, Johnny Gonzalez, or I keep saying John Gonzalez, Joan Gonzalez, when Gonzalez to not confuse him with Johnny, loses unanimous decision. It was a bit of a slow fight, right? As a matter of fact, I think Gonzalez gets dropped twice, one early in the fight that doesn't look like he's hurt really, more so than it's just a balanced punch. But he did go down, and ultimately he wouldn't have gone down without the punch, so that is considered a knockdown. He's fine. He gets up. He complains about something. I forgot what it is, and goes on. And then towards the end of the fight, gets dropped one more time. Now, he's the younger fighter. I don't know his age right offhand, but definitely not 42. I figured he had a little bit more gas in the tank, but maybe he wasn't training as hard as he was. Mind you, he did take the fight on 4 days' notice or 5 days notice. So maybe he was in the gym. I mean, he looked fine, right? I mean, he looked great. He looked pretty good physically, at least I'm talking about when he hopped on the scale. So it looked like he's been in the gym, but maybe not 100% pushing himself because he didn't have a fight lined up until this popped up. So maybe his cardio just wasn't there. I don't know, but he seemed to have run out of gas, and it seemed like it was Lara that had enough gas towards the latter half of that fight. But Lara coming away with the decision. I'm hoping that we can get still Lara and Johnny Beck later on, although now I'm not so sure. When I see Lara's face look like that, and he's like, "Damn!" And I texted, come on, my other buddies too, and Andrew as well. Man, like Johnny Beck would have fucking killed Lara. He would have fucking killed him. Like Lara would have been a sitting duck basically in that ring, and I don't think he would have gone past 6-7 against Johnny Beck. But ultimately, Lara keeps his middleweight title, his WBA middleweight title, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe can secure himself another big payday since this wasn't the end of his career since he didn't fight Johnny Beck. But Andrew, what did you see in Lara? What did you think about the fight overall and the one-sided decision?
I'm not going to talk about the fight too much, Miguel, because Lara put me to sleep. You see, I don't trust Lara. I think I told you guys 12 rounds. It was 12 rounds. Even though it's exciting, I guess he drops him in the final round twice. This is me. I was out. I don't know. It's just him. It's not me. It's not you. It's me, Lara. It's not you. It's me. I have no faith that you're Danny. No, you know what? It was Danny. I called the Danny knockout. Remember that? So I did have faith one time. He's a lot smaller, moving up, yada, yada, yada. But last night, bro, he put me to sleep. Sorry. I don't know if it was the fight or if it's just the last name Lara. And I go, I'll see you in 12. So that's what happened. But listen, back to what I just ranted on. Lara's another good example. He's got one title. Can almost guarantee you he's going to make $1 million off that one title. Right, Miguel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
42 years old. Oldest man in boxing. I bet you he makes $1 million off that title. And you guys really want to throw this model away. And go, no, let's start from scratch.
Well, not even that. I mean, it's like they have another model. It's just not nowhere near as lucrative as this one right here. That's so it isn't really starting from scratch per se, like creating a brand new one. It's one that we've seen already that doesn't create the millionaires that boxing does.
Oh, true. I just meant like a new ranking division, all that, I mean, this whole new TKO world. But yeah, you are right. We have seen the model play out, and they do have a second belt now, and I love how the MMA world doesn't talk about it. But didn't they bring a BF What is
Oh yeah, but that's not.
It doesn't
It's just.
matter.
It's basically like the WBC with the commemorative, like whatever BML belt or whatever. It's one of
I
those
just
things. It
okay.
isn't really. It's not a belt that gets defended. It's not a title. It's more of a commemorative trophy. That's all it is, really.
Oh, that's all. All right. No, if no
Because
defense, I was gonna say.
let me repeat that. Repeat that. So when a fighter wins the belt, he doesn't necessarily go out and defend it. It's kind of like a thing, but lineally for a lot of MMA fans, when the guy fights the next dude and loses, they just they don't even really hand him the belt. I don't even know if they fucking actually give him the belt. But every so often, when somebody wants to become something, and Dana's like, "Well, let's make this fight more important. Let's throw in this fucking BMF belt." Right?
And then back to my point, Miguel.
Wait a minute. Have any of those guys that fought for that title, just that that night, does that belt make them millionaires? And maybe it does. I don't know, but that's something to look into. You know what I mean? Because then at least the UFC would have 2 titles that could get you possibly $1 million payday, and then that argues against my argument where I'm saying what I'm saying. So
that's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've seen it between 2 dudes who, they're former champions. One is the former champion, one's the current champion, or something like that, right? But just with what was it, Masvidal and Nate Diaz in New York, they kind of fought for this made-up belt. I think that was like the first time that they did it because The Rock came out with the belt and everything. I have to assume those guys made some fucking money, so there's a possibility. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, then there you go.
But all right, do you think we get to see Lara and Johnny Beck now, or did Lara be like, "Fuck, you know what? I took a lot more punches than I wanted to against Gonzalez. I'm probably not going to fight Johnny Beck now."
He's going to take the highest fight. Look, the guy's 42. He deserves at least one payday to give up his title. It's not like he's going to vacate the thing. So it's whoever the biggest bidder is that comes for that title. So if it's Johnny Beck's people, then he fights him either, or if it's Terrence Crawford, he goes after, he fights Terrence Crawford. I definitely see him in the ring again, though. So I just don't know against who. But highest bidder, I will say that. Put your money on that.
All right.
He ain't scared. He ain't scared,
no,
Miguel.
No, he's like, here's my belt. Here's my WBA belt. Who wants to take it? Who's got the? Let's put it on fucking eBay kind of thing. The highest bidder, like bum. Like, yeah, sold to the man who just didn't want to pay $300,000. That guy. Sold to that guy.
I know. Say that's true. Is he even interested in belts anymore? Like all that talk about him going to middleweight and trying to be undisputed there.
They say money changes you, right? Or money reveals you, I should say.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it was the whole time. And who knows? I mean, that he's living good right now. I mean, so is when they were interviewing. Well, I saw some media outlet interviewing Spence saying like, I'll come back when I'm ready. I'm just enjoying life right now. I'm sure that fucking Terrence Crawford payday fight, ever made.
Hey, Miguel, remember when he first signs his contract? What's the first thing Terrence Crawford does? Or one of the first things that we got mad at him about. Do you remember?
No. What do you do?
How about throwing his wife of the mother of his 6 children under the bus by going on that podcast and being like, "Yeah, I told her I got another girl pregnant."
Oh,
you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah.
You're saying money shows yourself. It's kind of sad. The first big payday he gets, that's what he decided to bring on air. And then now he doesn't even want to pay his dues back to the belts. So maybe you're right. Money is exposing who Terrence Crawford really is. And Terrence, I got to tell you, Top Rank never gets it wrong. They never get it wrong.
Right. They were clearly proving us right on something, right? On this, at least on Crawford. So that leads us to the I think it was the opening pay-per-view fight on yesterday's card. Jesus Ramos defeated Shane Mosley Jr. by unanimous decision. I had the pleasure of interviewing Shane Mosley Jr. and asking a bunch of questions that you guys can check it out on our Instagram, YouTube, where I asked him about Oscar and whether or not he shared the same sentiment as his father, saying that Oscar held him down, yada yada, right, holding grudges, etc. So you might make sure to check that out. But anyway, he seemed in the right headspace. It seemed like he was very focused. Shane Mosley, he was junior, joking around with everybody, the media members, right, and very likable guy, very very likable guy. And I don't know if it's just the killer instinct? Does he not have that like finishing killer instinct that his pops had? And I hate to compare it to his dad, but he is a junior, so it's just kind of it's natural to do that. But does he just not have the power? It looked as though he was landing some shots on Ramos, and Ramos was just. I had asked him if he thought maybe he had an advantage, because I'm thinking to myself, I don't think Ramos had fought at middleweight before. Apparently he did. He fought like 3 times already at middleweight, so I was way off on that. In fact, he mostly fact checked me on that one, but. That was part of my question. I was going to ask him, like, do you think you have the advantage because you have fought at middleweight longer, and you have also fought at super middleweight? I think it's when he beat Daniel Jacobs or Rosado, one of those. I forget what it was. But anyway, he's fought up there. He's felt the power of those guys, and then he's down at 160 here. Figured if he had maybe some sort of advantage. He's like, no, I don't think the weight is a big deal. It seemed as though his punches weren't shit, man. He was like landing some bombs, not many, but he was landing some bombs on Ramos, and Ramos was just eating that shit up. And I don't know. It was maybe like the southpaw of Ramos, but I think Ramos was also I forgot out of hand because I remember it being a straight left. But anyway, it just looked like he didn't have the pop to earn respect in the ring, right? Ramos didn't have any fear at all. He was coming forward, even the shots that he was taking. He was not able to keep Ramos off him, basically, and it showed throughout the fight. His gas tank is good. You know, he's got a long, nice range. He's a tall dude. Just what's missing from Mosley Jr. that we're just not seeing. It's when he gets to that level where it's like, damn it, you're right about to break into the higher tier, the next tier of major league guys. You just don't come through, unfortunately. And Ramos came away with the decision that one, and I believe it was for the interim WBC middleweight title. So at some point, Ramos is going to be fighting Carlos Adames. I'm assuming that seems to be what normally happens when there's an interim belt here at stake and the champion is still available. Maybe Adames is injured or something. I don't know anything as far as that goes. So maybe they decided to go with the interim in this particular case. But Ramos defeated Mosley Jr. Andrew, what do you think of the fight? What do you think of Mosley's performance or Ramos' performance in this case?
First, what were the finishing odds? Did you get the finishing odds on this one? Because this was my upset of the night.
Ramos was a heavy favorite. I don't remember what it was, but it was like -3 or something. It was it was pretty high up there. Like Ramos was kind of fucking the favorite. I mean, not kind of a heavy favorite. He was definitely the favorite, but
he wasn't the favorite going in.
Ramos, well, when you were saying the upset, were you thinking that Ramos was the underdog?
Well, yeah, I thought on last week's show, I thought he was the underdog. That's why I took him for the upset of the...
Where the fuck did I have? Yeah, maybe I.
Either way, that was the one that I thought was going to play out exactly the way it did. Look, he's an athlete. He's not a boxer. He's a former boxer's son who started at 18. He didn't start at 5, right? There's so many things that can be said about Shane. Here's another one. He's 30. So stop thinking he's going to graduate. He's not graduating his shit. He is who he is. He's got 20 wins and 5 defeats. In a real world, he would have no money behind him. He wouldn't be on pay-per-view. He is what his father gave him. That's his last name. Ramos has proven in his career that he's all dog. He's going to be there. He's not going to lay down. And unfortunately, I think Daniel Jacobs laid down for Mosley, and Rosado has never been anything more than a glorified sparring partner to me. Would whoop my ass, because I know Rosado might get really mad when he hears things like this. But in a real ring, in the top 10 world, you're a sparring partner to those guys, right? So, those weren't significant wins in my opinion. It made Mosley look like he was going in the right direction, but not top 10. And Ramos just proved it. Not a lot to say. They threw back and forth. It was an exciting fight. Don't even know if I was really that excited to see Ramos is now in line to get a title shot, but it is what it is. You know, Adames and him can fight on the undercard, maybe of the whoever Lara decides to go to, and maybe they can make, story rolling on that one. But I don't really see anything else with Ramos. There's no market there, right? He's not camera friendly. He looks like he's fucking 50, but he's 24. Did that blow your mind? That blew my mind, bro. Bro, why was Sugar Shane Jr. older than that man across from him? Is he lying on his birth? Does he have a birth certificate, Miguel? No, I'm just fucking playing. I'm just playing. Like, dude, Seen that before, Gennady Golovkin. No.
Oh man, yeah. I don't. I mean, according to Wikipedia, yeah, 2001. It seems like he was born. According to that, I don't know. He certainly didn't look it. You know, it doesn't look it. If you look at his face.
Bro. When I first seen that, I was like, "What? There is no way this dude is 24 years old. The fuck out of here!" No, I'm just kidding. I hope he probably is. He's all crying right now. Fuck you guys.
Like they still card me at fucking casinos, guys. All right, they make me look young. I didn't think I'm fucking young. They still ask me for fucking my ID when I buy non-alcoholic beer, guys. But yeah, so that it looks like we're gonna get Ramos and Adonis at some point. Mosley Jr. What's next? Shall we just?
I thought I clearly, yeah, I thought I clearly explained.
Well, I guess
20 and 5, bro. And what I don't like is the telecast. They're like, he really looks like he's coming into his own. It's like, no, he's 30 years old. He's not coming into shit. Stop it. And he's losing this fight. You guys are just talking right now. And then by the end, yeah, it is what it is. Hey, like I said, hopefully these new generation of fighters, they learn off of all these sons that try to follow their dads into the ring, and get your kids into boxing a lot earlier. Doesn't mean they need to fucking, go sparring every day and all that, but we shouldn't have stories of champion sons getting into boxing at 18. And I know the story. Did you get the Pacquiao story? Did I send you the Pacquiao one with the 2 kids?
Yeah, you did, but I took a quick look. I don't think I understood it. There's another Pacquiao son somewhere out there?
Yes. Now, if you remember, Pacquiao got a co-host pregnant on a movie, a co-star. Is that what you call him? Co-star.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
One of his movies in the Philippines, one of the girls ended up pregnant. And I don't know if this is her, but if you listen to that story, and sorry, you guys, I know I'm fucking jumping around right now, but we're talking about fighters and sons, and a story hit on my feed this week that Manny, because of Himel Pacquiao's fighting the other day, there's a story out there that Manny has 2 sons that are actually fighting, and one of them is a son not from the marriage, out of the marriage, and his mom never wanted help. And that's when I was like, she's the movie star. It's the movie star. If she didn't want help, I guess she didn't want no ties to Pacquiao because he was married. You know what I mean? She didn't want to have that, I'm the mistress, you got to come see your son on the side kind of life. So she probably made her own money. I got to think he paid her a nice sum, and then she makes her own money, so she doesn't need him. So that's what makes me think maybe that rumor of the co-star getting pregnant is true, and this is the young man. This is the product of that relationship. Is this? And he sure does look a lot more different than Himel. He looked like he got the good side of Pacquiao genes. I'm sorry, Himel. I'm sorry I'm a dick, Chingy. I'm sorry I'm a dick. But that other kid, man, he looks like his daddy.
Like that fucking movie with Ben Stiller with like they got the maid, the half brother that looks just like Ben. Like, oh, what the hell? Like, what the? Man, if you guys go check out this post, is the one that that Andrew sent me. It's this guy named June, like Joon. That's the guy, the media personality or influencer. If you take a look at some of the comments, they should fight each other. I bet money on the poor one. Oh, these guys are just going. It's like Filipino Tekken. Looks great. They're just going to fucking town. But yeah, so that's if you guys check out the things. One more note here on Shane Mosley Jr. 34. He's 34 years old. He'll be 35 in a few weeks here on the 18th.
So he's over 30. Oh,
he's 30. He'll be 35 on the 18th of this month.
Yeah, it's time to put it up.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, this is kind of what I wanted to talk about earlier. The pay-per-view card overall, all right, it was fun. It was entertaining. There was some good. I was down for the preliminary fights. There was a killer ass knockout in the preliminaries. Frank Martin made his comeback and fighting at 140, knocking out Rancis Barthélemy. Nasty. He had him hurt already, but he knocked him out. I was down with the prelims because, more often than not, the prelims are free. Just go to the YouTube channel and check those out. Get your fight started early. Your fight started early. I love watching that shit because I don't just tune in for the pay-per-views. I'm like, let's fucking watch the prelims. I'm down with that. So fun prelims. But apparently a fight that was supposed to be on the prelims also got canned because one of the fighters tested positive there too for some banned substance. So that fight got scrapped altogether. This was supposed to be kind of like the last. Well, it is, I guess, the last major pay-per-view of the year, and boxing was going to go out with a bang for 2025. And we got a draw in the main event. We got a late substitution in what was the co-main event, got dropped down to the fight right below that on the fight card, and then one of the fights gets removed from the prelims. My opinion of the fight overall, or the card, it was fun, it was cool. I believe there was a gentleman, I forgot his name, but a Goosen related person on the telecast before Abner Mares joined. I think Abner was doing, I don't know, interviews or whatever, but at the very early on they had somebody else instead of Abner Mares. I wasn't familiar with who he was. He was okay. Young guy. I saw his last name was hyphenated Goosen something. I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker related to Goosen, right? We're going to be talking about Goosen a little bit later on in the next story here, but regardless, and then Mauro Ronaldo, we know everybody knows Ronaldo there, and then Brian Campbell from his show as well. They were previously with Showtime. The card was fun; it was still good, but it could have been better. It sucked that little by little, as the fight or as the card approached or the date approached, it was just like things were falling apart, and it wasn't what it could have been, and that kind of sucked. That kind of puts a little bit of a ding on the card overall for it being, what could have been like a good way for boxing to end 2025 ends up being a little bit, I don't want to say a dud because it was still entertaining, but man, that Lara fight was just putting people to sleep, right? I can understand why they moved it down after Johnny Beck dropped out, and then Foster and Fulton. It was a good fight, but it was one-sided. It's like, damn, this is the kind of shit we want to see on the co-main event. So it just kind of started falling apart, man. It was Meldrick Taylor heading into the 12th round. It's like, fuck, we're just falling over here and losing, running out of gas. It was a fun card still. I still watched it, of course, but it definitely wasn't what it could have been. And it sucks that these things have to happen. Not the best way to go out for 2025. But Andrew, what did you think of the pay-per-view card overall? And you mentioned a few times you're falling asleep, right? But the commentary, the production, Amazon Prime, of course, another Amazon Prime pay-per-view was pretty good. What do you think? What would you grade it? I guess I should say.
One, Johnny Beck fucked up. He ruined a big portion of this card by not being there. Off top, I don't remember Terrence Crawford being in the ring in the stadium arena.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So we can almost guarantee that Terrence isn't interested in belts anymore. I think Terrence thinks his name is worth 50 million now. So we'll see how that goes for him. The Fulton ruined this. I can't believe Fulton did what he did. Not only did he come in 2 pounds overweight, meaning he didn't even try, his body language, the way he just looked out of it. Not a muscle on his stomach. You know what I mean? Throwing up the deuces. I guess that's his nickname, but it's just not a good look when you come in.
I take that back. I thought it was too cool, but it's not. It's like Cool Boy Steph or something like that. So I thought that's what he meant. I was like, too cool. Is that his nickname? But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So just a dumb. I didn't like. He ruined it. Look, the main event being a draw, I thought they still won. Pitbull Cruz fans got to see their guy pull out of a fight that he might have been losing in the last 2 rounds. I didn't think it was a fix. I didn't think Al was putting in the fix here, making the phone call.
He didn't make the phone call. There you go.
Yeah, he didn't make the phone call. Legit, Cruz brought it back. Cruz brought it back in the last 2 rounds. I gave him that. So I wasn't mad about the draw. Actually, my friend Ochoa, he called it as soon as the fight was over. He called the draw, and I didn't think so. I really thought, I was like, no, I think Roach did enough. I will say I thought Roach did enough, but I did not like the final 2 rounds. But it doesn't matter. I didn't throw a beer at the TV. I didn't get mad. It was like, dude, he fucked up. He fucked up. That was a dumbass game plan, because I was saying that probably the whole fight. Like, there was a certain point where you almost started getting mad. Like, what's really going on? I don't get it. He's going to have to live with that. He's going to have to wake up and watch that fight. And his trainer is going to be like, man, what were we both thinking? But whatever. You threw the ball on the 1 yard line. So overall, a C. Look, I got to think that the thing falling apart has a little bit to do with the people running the event. This was like a Hail Mary for PBC to show that they were still in, right? Gave us a good fight card, had some good lineup set up for us. Were you not on the phone enough? Were your people not? Who wasn't watching Fulton? Who didn't know that he was 2 pounds overweight? You know what I mean? Like, just have a little bit more control over your guys, right? 2 dirty tests, 1 overweight. That's like bad parenting. You know, that's like 2 kids in rehab. Yeah, look at the parents.
Yeah, you got to look at who's watching over these people, because
right?
at some point, you know, we can blame the guys, but then who do we look for? The parents. We look to the parents, like, what the fuck? We look to BBC. We're like, hey guys, really? This is
falling
your card?
apart here. Yeah, it's falling apart. You're rearranging the fight card. You got guys missing weight. No, two drug tests. Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to get those dates out on those when those tests are going to be there. No, just kidding.
Yeah, got to let them know ahead of time, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, just so we don't get to. This was PBC's. It almost seemed like it was PBC's attempt to show, like, look, we can do pay-per-view numbers without Gervonta necessarily, right? Because we've heard Roach himself say, "Hey, yo, Tank is kind of how PBC gets paid, guys." So they put on this stacked card, and unfortunately, kind of fell apart. And then again, the location, San Antonio. I mean, is either one of those? No, well, I guess they were trying to go with a Mexican American crowd, I guess. Suppose.
Yes,
like,
and I thought the crowd actually showed up, though. You didn't like? Yeah. I thought there was a lot of people there when they did the
no, the crowd was good, but again, it's the fan, it's the judges, the athletic commission. It's like, damn it, things are. I mean, again, they got the date or the venue before all this shit started happening, but they should add it on to that. It's like one of these garbage ass decisions or some shit that we're like, are you fucking serious? And again, I'm not going to say that the decision was that bad, but some of the refereeing was kind of bad, and Texas has a bit of reputation on that, so that added to the fact that the fight started falling out and stuff like that. But not bad. C is pretty decent, right? I'm down with C. That's not too bad. And not exactly the way we wanted to end the year. Hopefully 2026 has right off the bat, right? We know we're gonna get Manny against somebody, and we're gonna get Thurman and Fundora on the undercard of that, right? And then possibly Ennis and
Shakur and Lopez.
Oh yeah, Shakur and Lopez, right? Ennis and Virgil. So things are looking good, right? Things are looking good. But this one, I might have to go. It wasn't bad. I'll do with a C, but I'll do a little bit better. That's a C plus for me. It was a C plus. It was pretty decent, right? It could have been better, but things fell through, unfortunately. And that is how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles for the last major pay-per-view for boxing here in 2025. All right. Moving on to the next subject I mentioned earlier. Oh, you know what? Actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and toss in, because I forgot that I didn't even do this last show. Hey guys, check out Health y Sol. Tallow-based soap, tallow-based products. Make sure to give them a try. If you find anything you like on their website, make sure to use the code MADBoxing10 at checkout and get 10% off of your purchase, or follow the affiliate link that we're going to have in the description. Make sure to give them a check it out. My favorite scent is lavender patchouli. It smells hella good, and I use it for everything. I actually use it for like my hair and everything. I don't even use it as shampoo. I just basically use a bar of soap for everything, and it's way easier to travel with, guys, so you don't have to bring shampoo when you travel, FYI. All right. So, yeah, the next topic here, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about Goosen, right? Let me go ahead and pull up the post here, because my right-hand man, Andrew, decided to send this to me here through Facebook. Joe Goosen, the former trainer of Ryan Garcia, will be training Mario Barrios for this fight in February, which they already have a date, February 21st. I think they said they were showing when they were interviewing Mario Barrios during the broadcast. They showed the date, and I briefly looked, and I was like, oh shit, that's it, February 24th, something like that. So it's going to be February when we're going to get Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia. Now, if you guys remember, a few weeks back, it was announced that Ryan Garcia has left or has separated from his training, or I guess trainer, I should say, will no longer be trained by Derek James, and said, fuck this, I'm going to go somewhere else. And he decided that he's going to be trained by his pops. All right. Well, then what happens? Well, then we find out that, and I don't know how it came. Again, when I'm watching the broadcast, sometimes we're talking and I'm listening to my pops talk and everything. So I'm not sure how Goosen and Barrios came together. Hopefully, wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the people who hook me up. If there's some sort of media event that involves Barrios, which I have been to before, I will bring that up. I will ask him, like, hey, do you know that Ryan's gonna be trained by his pops? I mean, I have to assume they do. They went as far as to go out and get Goosen, who was a former trainer for Ryan. So a lot of these weird soap opera side stories are kind of like coming along. We've seen Ryan Garcia now with a video who recently posted with him and Blueface, right? That's the name of the rapper or the whoever the hell this guy is. I don't know who he is. Holding one of those like body pads, right? And he's got the war paint on, right? And he's Ryan, I'm saying, and throws these like hard left hooks or one left hook, right? Which he's done before. He's done it with a lot of other guys. He's done it with Ngannou. He's done it with maybe even Jake or Logan Paul, one of those guys. So that's kind of his thing, right? That and like that bag. I forget what is that bag called, Andrew? The one that's like on the ground and it has like the spring, right? I forget what it's called. It's not the double-ended one, but I forget what that one is called. But he does those things, right? You know, that's
The
Ryan's
Cobra
thing.
bag, isn't
The
it called
Cobra
the
bag.
Cobra? Yeah.
All right. That's his thing, right? So we're already seeing the kind of content that his social media page is going to have during fight camp. Now this fight is in February, so chances are, and I think it's late February, the 20th or 21st. So maybe training camp hasn't exactly started yet for Ryan. Maybe he's going to start in early January, something like that. Right after the New Year, he's going to probably party hard for the New Year's and maybe made it a point to say, no, I want to enjoy my year, and let's go ahead and push it towards late February so I can party on New Year's. Hopefully, Ryan doesn't get in any serious fucking trouble over New Year's, but definitely kind of adds another twist to this soap opera-ish, I guess, storyline. Andrew, what did you think, first off, of finding out that Ryan has left his trainer right there, James, and then add to that, now that Mario Barrios is going to be trained by Joe Goosen, who was a former trainer of Ryan Garcia.
Well, I mean, we talked about this about him leaving his trainer, and I believe I moved Barrios in as my favorite in that fight. And let me tell you this: with the news of Joe Goosen now being the head trainer for Barrios, my bet seems even safer. Does anyone realize, since we brought out the news that Ryan was getting trained by his dad, we haven't seen him in a gym since? He's been in his house, like Chavez Jr., doing mitt work, doing the reels or hitting guys in body bags. He did Blueface, and I just seen he did someone else too. I forget what celebrity, but he has two now, Miguel, where he's doing the same old body challenge. Oh, because that gets a lot of views, Dad. Oh, we're going to get 1 million views. Views. Money, money, money. What about the fight? What about the fight? I'm going to get a lot of views. Bet on Barrios, you guys. Might be bet on Barrios by knockout. I'll tell you as we get closer. Let's see if Ryan gets back into the gym or if he's going to continue with the Julio Cesar Chavez game plan. And by the end, I'll have Barrios by knockout.
Damn. Do you think that, and this is kind of just, I guess spitballing, but that Ryan might get into some sort of trouble over the New Year that might kind of, I don't know, maybe give us even more reason to bet on Barrios?
He's a ticking time bomb right now because of the way he's living. So who knows what New Year's brings to him? You would like to say no. He seems like he at least got that part of his life taken care of. I know he had one run-in where he damaged a hotel room or something like that.
Yeah, Beverly Hills, I think it was.
Yeah, but let's hope he gets through it. But right now he's especially if you bring in the mental state side of it, right? And Ryan does have these moments where he falls into these lapses, right? Of where it could just be depression. I don't know. But when you add alcohol, liquor to that, or alcohol and drugs to that, yeah, it's a bad mixture. That's a bad cocktail. So let's hope he gets through the New Year's fine. But I am not so far. I'm not impressed with the new Ryan Garcia.
So with oh, go
Is
ahead.
it the new old, the old new? What, you know what I mean? Because he wants to go back to Devin
Mm.
Haney. That's what he said. He said his last training camp was boring. Don't want the boring Ryan. I want the cool Ryan. Right?
The cool hip Ryan who's gonna be drinking on the scale.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
uh,
what won him that fight.
yeah, that's a good point. Is that what he meant? It's like I want that old Ryan, the one that wins fights. God damn it, because this seems to be a lot harder if I actually dedicate myself and train, because I don't seem to be getting the fucking victories the way I used to get. Um, that being said, with Goosen being in Barrios's corner, what do you think? I mean, obviously, a new trainer is going to be good, especially when you have insight on the previous on one of his previous pupils. What do you think Goosen can bring to the training camp that we kind of don't already know? Like we kind of already have a general idea of the kind of things that. And again, we're not in the camp with Ryan per se, but you know, we kind of have a general idea of how you can beat Ryan. I mean, he was hit with that left hook, God knows how many fucking times. What do you think Goosen can bring into Barrios' camp that we don't already know from the outside?
Showing him something that we don't already know from the outside. Easiest answer, but no. I mean, you said it off the top. It's going to be working on the left hook, right?
Mm.
They're going to watch the tape of Ryan and Raleigh. They're going to see his flaws. With Goosen already knowing some of his flaws, he was probably very convincing when they were doing a breakdown of how he's going to get Mario to beat him, right? So I'm thinking that's where the Barrios team was like, no, this is the guy we're going with. He's telling you and showing you. You get what I'm saying? So if there was any kind of interviewing going on, I got to think that's when they made the decision to bring on Goosen. There's just he's a very good trainer. He's got a lot of history behind his name on world champions and success in boxing. Probably brings that. He's probably right for Barrios' style too. Barrios more of a flat-footed, throw down kind of guy, right? Not really a boxer, not too much of a boxer. And Goosen kind of that's what he likes, are the guys that will stay down and throw. They throw down, you know. So I do think even the styles match up. This could be a very good place for both men, Mario Barrios and Goosen, who I'm talking about. So yeah. I do think it's all about teaching them how to hit that left. Yeah.
Do you think Goosen has what it takes, or has that whatever it is that Barrios might be missing? There are times when we watch Barrios fights and we're just like, God damn it, just crank it up a little bit. You could have won that Manny fight. You could have, you know, the Ramos fight. You know, he was doing well earlier on. And the other Ramos, I should say. So it's just like, does he have that? I mean, is number one, does Barrios have it in him to just crank it up when he needs to, you know, towards usually the latter half, but when he needs to? And is Goosen the guy to bring that out of him? Like, cause we know the card, or the cards, I guess, are kind of falling in his favor, right? It's like it's what we've seen from Ryan, what we're hearing from Ryan in his training. Now he's got a guy who has an inside scoop on Ryan. Everything seems to be helping Mario, but it's still up to Mario to crank it up when he needs to in the ring. Do you think that Dan can, Joe can pull it out of him?
That's the unseen, but
Barrio has
Joe
it in him, doesn't he?
Barrios has it in
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I think he does. We'll see what happens when they're in the middle of the fight and Joe's giving them those emotional speeches. You know what I mean? Getting them his engine going. So I definitely think like I said, I just going off top, when I'm thinking of Mario Barrios' style and what Joe Goosen likes, these two do seem like they're gonna work good together. So Barrios just has to commit. Joe Goosen's all gas, right? He doesn't go back. You know, he likes to stay on the inside. He likes to throw punches and go for knockouts. And so, yeah, no, I like it. I like the fight. I'm telling you, I'm leaning towards Barrios on this one. Not really a big fan of Garcia anymore. and he's kind of playing right into what I'm predicting on already with the reels that he's put out so far. I mean, you guys, who looked like the clown in that video?
Mm.
It looked like Ryan with all the face. Like, what are you doing? What are
Yeah.
you drunk? What are you
Like
doing?
who is he trying to convince, or like he's trying really, really hard or something to convince us that he's taking this fight seriously and the old Ryan is back or whatever. But it's like when we see him post stuff like that, it's like how old of a Ryan we're talking about? Because it sounds like you're the fucking Ryan of when you're in your early 20s or whatever, right? Like that Ryan who was all about social media. I mean, maybe he thinks that's still the key to the career, I guess, to maybe like reviving it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, damn, bro, so, somebody, dad, take his fucking phone away, shit, like, stop, enough of that. And again, it's not, he's not in training camp yet, I don't think, right? Because we're talking about late February, so maybe 6 week, 8 week, maybe he's going to do it at the very beginning. But this is a bit of a teaser of the kind of things we're probably going to see of him during training camp.
Yep.
All right, so we know where our money is there, I should say, at least. Okay.
It's leaning. Yes, I'm definitely leaning on Barrios on that one.
Yeah, precisely. And again, hopefully, I get invited to another media event, and I can ask a couple of questions like that of Barrios. See hopefully where his confidence is, because yeah, there's a pretty good chance that he might come away with the victory in this one, and that'll put Barrios really up there, huh? Like a victory over. I mean, I'm trying to say a victory over Ryan. Would that do much for his career? I mean, we are talking about a Ryan that's kind of like hasn't won a fight and gone as how fucking long at this point. But like, would we give Barrios credit at this point? Be like, damn, he beat Ryan Garcia. But it's like, yeah, but it's the Ryan Garcia who's kind of outfaded, who's kind of out there sometimes. If Barrios comes away with the victory, is he going to get enough credit for the victory?
He should get credit for the victory, especially, yes, he should. But he will have many doubters still with that argument that Ryan had never proven himself, and it will be it for Ryan Garcia. This is yeah, it's the final fight for him. If he loses this one, I do not see him in another major fight. He'll be in another fight. It just
Sure.
won't be a major fight. Stepping stone at that point.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're looking forward to that. I remember them. Excuse me. I remember them saying that it was going to be in 2026, and then I think when they announced that Gustin was going to be with Barrios, they specified the date, and I just took a quick glimpse. So we're looking at late February for that. So we can anticipate us talking about that as it approaches. All right. So. One of the topics we're going to talk about here, we talked about a few weeks back because he recently fought David Benavidez, planning to go up to cruiserweight to challenge Zurdo Ramirez, Gilberto Ramirez. And I'm hearing a lot of people talk about a lot of other media outlets. He's going to move up to cruiserweight and get himself a belt, and then drop back down to light heavyweight and go after Bivol Beterbiev, almost as this is just a formality. Like it's a foregone conclusion. He's going to go up and beat Gilberto Ramirez. I don't think that's the case. It most certainly isn't going to be that easy. I don't think so. In fact, I'm not convinced that he's going to beat Ramirez. I think Ramirez has a very, very good chance of beating Benavidez. He's much like, not like his other opponents, on top of the fact that he's a southpaw. He's got great boxing. He's got great angles, and he's naturally a bigger dude. And we know from what we've seen, yes,
he's top rank versus PBC, bro. Do we have to say anything else?
He's not top rank anymore. He's
no shit, but he was, Miguel.
Okay, gotcha. All right, fair enough.
I'm not going off my own advice. Zurdo will beat Benavidez. Bet the house on it. No, go ahead. Sorry, bro.
That's the beginning of the parlay. No, but on that note, I don't know. I know that the plan was maybe, or at least we're hearing that he might drop back down after the win over Ramirez. But if he decides to stay at cruiserweight, he's got somebody waiting for him, Opetaia, who fought yesterday. And I know that the cruiserweight division doesn't get a lot of, I guess, airspace on internet, on newspaper space, I guess, if the newspaper sort of thing. But basically, they don't get a lot of talk, frankly. But Opetaia ended up fighting and another knockout real type of victory over his opponent here. Now, I pulled up his opponent here, but apparently his opponent has been Sin Cara, I think is the last, if I can pronounce the last name correctly, is Hussein Sin Cara. Apparently he's in the hospital recovering from that knockout. It was a pretty serious ass knockout. He was out, and I don't know if this is the kind of guys that Benavidez wants to go up against. I know he talks about, facing everybody, facing all the champions, and going after everybody. He's not scared of anybody, and nobody's saying he is. But this is a tough one. If he thinks he's gonna get past Gilberto Ramirez, let's say he does. He's got Opetaia waiting for him. And if you guys watch those KOs, the knockout highlight of this most recent opponent, man, it was serious. Let me go ahead and read this quote here. Please keep Hussein Sin Cara, if I can pronounce it right, in your prayers as he recovers from his injuries in the hospital after a devastating loss to Opetaia. He has contusions on the brain with a small brain bleed and a slightly fractured C1 vertebrae. The brutal reality of this is that Sin Cara becomes the fifth out of the last 6 Opetaia opponents who have been taken to the hospital. So pretty serious. Keep him in our prayers, of course. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But man, once again, Opetaia shows his danger, his dangerous power. I can see why, to some degree, why Benavidez would want to go up just to fight Ramirez and drop back down and not stay at cruiserweight. But if he stays, he's got guys like this waiting for him. Benavidez, was able to stop Anthony Yarde, but in his previous opponents, it looked like he just doesn't have the power at 175. If he doesn't have the power at 175, I don't think he has the power at cruiserweight. Hopefully, he has the chin at cruiserweight to be able to handle a Ramirez punch or an Opetaia punch. Yeah, another highlight reel knockout by Opetaia. Do you think Benavidez would want to step in the ring with somebody like him?
The first thing I would do if I'm Benavidez or Zuro is I would make sure there's a drug program implicated if I'm fighting Opetaia, because I don't like the 5 out of 6 in the hospital. Too good to be true.
Oh, I see. You're going that direction. All right off the bat, huh? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the Floyd Mayweather card. We're gonna stay away from this guy by saying we need the VADA testing. Cue it up, Benavidez. We need an out. Because he looks too damn powerful without it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The guy has multiple fucking highlights of knocking dudes out the way he knocked out this man yesterday. And I didn't know that was live. It was weird. I really didn't see any promotions for this fight. Shame on DAZN if that was on DAZN. Was it a DAZN fight yesterday?
I don't know. I'm not even sure who the hell is promoted.
I'm not either, bro.
It wasn't until I saw it pop up on my Instagram feed, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's fucking fighting again!" And then I see how he wins, and like, no joke, I saw him knock out some dude. I was like, "Oh, it's just some fucking highlight reel of Opetaia," not realizing it was literally his recent fight, and it happened, I think, Saturday morning or something like that. Well, our time, I should say. But I didn't even realize he was fucking fighting. Like, no joke, I did not realize he was fighting. I mean, I would like to pull up videos to see if maybe he's calling on Benavidez. I don't know. It'd be a smart idea on him to do so, at least to get some more notoriety, because it seems as though he's flying under the radar.
There was a time when he was on Turkey's radar. I don't know where that has gone since, but when Turkey's first started, he was really high on this Opetaia kid. I believe he was on a few of Turkey's fight cards. Yeah, and DAZN was really big on him. So I don't know why, like I said, I don't know why the promotion stopped, and it seemed like this fight wasn't given a lot of promotions. Even though, if you've seen both guys, they look like legit fighters. They look like this would have been something that could have generated some interest in the boxing community. His opponent did not look like a slouch at all. And then it turned out to be a devastating knockout. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But right now, I'm leaning on make sure VADA's involved when you sign that contract.
Damn. All right. And then from what I can tell here, it looks like the KO happened in the 8th round. So it wasn't like it was right off the bat, caught him cold or anything like that. And maybe it took him a little bit longer. And you mentioned it looked like his opponent was the real deal. And maybe it took that long, to take him out, because it wasn't one of those like 3-4 round type of fights. He had to go into the 8th. And I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to try to see how that fight went and just kind of take a look. But that'd be pretty. I mean, it's if Benavidez decides to stay at cruiserweight, which I don't know how much. If you guys watch his fight with Yard, he didn't look very ripped, right? I mean, not that he ever really is too ripped, but sometimes when he was fighting, specifically when he was fighting at 168, he looked a lot leaner. He didn't have like the little bit of spare tire. He looked a little flabby when he fought Yard. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like could it be that he's already struggling to stay at 175? I mean, it seems kind of illogical. He's only been there for a couple of fights, and he seems to be making the weight comfortably. Prior to the Yard fight, we did talk of how his face looked. He looked a lot leaner and thinner, and we're like, hold on, is there something going on here? Does it look like he's really drying himself out to make 175? And just is he going up to cruiserweight because he's struggling at 175 now, or because he sees that he can beat Zurdo and maybe wants another payday there, or I should say a belt, a couple of belts actually, because Zurdo I think is a unified champ there. So is he doing so because he's struggling at 175, do you think? Or is it just, let me go ahead and add more hardware to my fucking mantle?
It's a good question. I look at, because this is his second time going to cruiserweight, I got to think that it has something to do with making weight.
This is the second time going to cruiserweight, really?
Benavidez, I thought, already fought at cruiserweight.
Oh shit! I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. I mean, because I remember his fights. Well, at least with Yard, and I have to look it up. But Yard and the Ukrainian were light heavyweights. But did he? Well, maybe you're right. I don't know.
I thought he did go up to cruiserweight already one time and then came back down. But maybe I'm wrong. Well, then that takes away my whole thing about it's his second time doing it, so that it has to be a weight issue thing. He doesn't look like he's struggling to make weight. Now, I know what you said about his face last time, but his body, he didn't look like he was starving, right? So that's a hard one to say. Maybe he does. Maybe deep down he doesn't want Bevel or better beef. Maybe Zurdo is in his eyes is an easier option to get a title and maybe run that division. Opetaia, while he's there, he's you got to look for him, right? He's not out in the open. So is his team even looking at Opetaia right now, or is that going to be one of those? Did you know this motherfucker was in this division? Nope, my bad. Want to go back to light heavyweight? Can't. So maybe it turned out that way, but yeah, has he fought in a cruiserweight? Did you look that up?
Yeah, I looked up. No, it doesn't look like it. No, he goes from Andrade, still at 168, to his fights at light heavyweight with Yard and Ukrainian fighter and Morale and whatnot. So no, as of right now, it doesn't look he's fought at cruiserweight at all.
All right. Well, then it's just maybe he's just moving up. We will see.
Yeah. Okay, well, that is pretty much all the stories that I have here. I was looking through some of the stuff that Andrew and I kind of exchanged throughout the week. Besides yesterday's fights, there were really too much more news going on. Besides the fact that we were talking about it here with the topics, I should say, that we talked about on the show here. Andrew, was there anything else that you wanted to add on to this before we wrap it up?
Nope. Gonna see if my Raiders will come on my new cable menu list.
Yeah. Yes, please let us know, because we're inquiring minds want to know, and I do believe that we might have found a successful strategy, because I did have to refresh my feed a couple of times yesterday. But regardless, yes, by all means, let us know how that comes out and how good it is. Is it still like HD, 1080 at 4K or whatever the fuck it is? Yes. Oh,
yes, it was. Everything. Every once in a while, it would go fuzzy. Fuzzy's not even. It wouldn't be HD. It'd go back to like not HD, but then it would come right back. I never had an issue. Off a man who's been watching a lot of his fights on a telephone lately.
Yeah,
last night was awesome. So shout out to my boy, man. He leveled me up. That's what I told him. I leveled up last night. So I got to watch the UFC. And the main event of that fight had the house rocking and rolling, dude. I gotta say, that was a very entertaining main event. the Jan man who got his title back. I thought that was a real good. He gave a real good showing of what real mixed martial arts is. To me, that guy he was doing everything really nice. It wasn't like he was heavy on one. I mean, you want to strike, you want to kick, you want to. That fucking takedown defense was awesome. I mean, you couldn't move this dude, and his jab was good. So he puts a little bit into the striking. I wanted way more jabs. I always go for underdogs in the UFC because I don't have. Whenever I watch UFC, I always go for the underdog or a striker. Unless they tell me there's a striker. And then I got all my money on it. That's when I start pissing everyone off. I'm like, just hit him. Just fucking hit him. But it was good. It was exciting. That was a good main event last night.
Yes, that most definitely was. And one of the reasons he was an underdog, besides being a former champ, is his opponent, Merab, is got like crazy cardio, and people tend to run out of gas with him, And this fucker Jan stayed on top of everything. He didn't run out of gas for shit. We're like, damn, this dude. They call him, Merab. I'm saying they call him the machine because that fucker could just go and go and go. There are times where he's losing the early rounds, and he just outlasts the guy pretty much.
And he almost did.
Yeah, he almost did.
The few chokeholds, man, they looked like they were in deep, dude, and the guy popped out of them. But you're right. He looked like he almost got it.
So on that note, yes, guys, every so often, Andrew just watch some UFC fights, regardless of what he says. Goddamn it, fights are fights. Just a quick update. We are going to be, because New Year's and Christmas Eve land on a Wednesday. Those weeks we won't have Wednesday shows because they're going to be pretty difficult to get going. So we're going to just have weekends for those 2 weeks, or Sundays as we normally do, to see what news pops up, because there aren't going to be too many fights, and whatever news pops up we're going to be talking about, of course. But those Wednesday shows, everything else pretty much is still Sunday, Wednesday up until those particular weeks because of the holidays, of course.
Somebody wants to do a story, Miguel. They should do a story on the payouts of 2025, right? Devin Haney, Garcia, Lopez, Usyk, all of the guys that have fought for these alphabet titles that we have over here. Because right off the top, Terrence Crawford made $10 million versus Midroff or whoever's that fighter at 154. Then he made $50 million.
$2 million.
I thought at the end of it all, he made 10.
Gotcha. I see what you mean. Okay. So it was like a guaranteed too, I think. And then
exactly. And you can go with that one. He makes $2 million. Still made $1 million. Made over $1 million. And then makes $50 million in his next fight. Devin Haney, there's a rumor of $16 million in his last fight.
Yeah.
Well, what did he make in May? Bob Barbosa in May. So what did he make this year?
Wait, what's his name? Teofimo, you mean? Is that what you said, Teofimo?
No, Haney fought Barbosa.
No, he didn't fight Barbosa. He fought Ramirez. He fought Ramirez.
Ramirez. Yeah, Lopez fought Barbosa. All right, well, you're on with me.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
What did he make in that
bodies? Yeah.
So, someone wants to do a story, they might want to open the eyes of some of these fighters that are they're kind of blinded right now, right? Thinking that the grass is greener on the other side when it might absolutely not be. And like I said, to my UFC or my MMA guys, show the receipts. Go, nah, dude. Devin Haney made $16 million. Our guy over here made $16 million, right? Our champ over here. Delafimo Lopez made $1.5 million. This guy over here made $1.5 million on the same card. Show the receipts. Let's start matching them, right? And hey, if it is, it is what it is at the end. Stats don't lie. So that's what I say. That's what I'm hoping happens here to really get into, are the alphabet titles really robbing these fighters, or are they creating an avenue of possibly making $1 million?
Yeah. That's how we're going to end the show, with that question, because we're gonna need to find that out at some point. All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up here. And as I mentioned, as long as there's some sort of news between now and Wednesday, we'll be back Wednesday up until the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve holidays pop up. But until then, For my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache. I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you once more for catching us. We'll see you guys shortly, in a few weeks, maybe later on this week. Take care. Peace.